In the misty highlands of ancient Japan, where cherry blossoms whispered secrets to the wind and the gods walked among mortals in disguise, there lived a young blacksmith named Hiroshi, whose hammer sang songs of fire and steel under the watchful eye of the warrior god, Bishamonten, the fierce deity clad in armor that gleamed like the sun's fury, guardian of warriors and slayer of demons. Hiroshi's life was one of quiet toil in the village of Yamato, forging simple tools for farmers and blades for samurai who passed through on their quests for glory. But deep in his heart burned a dream forged from the tales his grandfather spun by the hearth. Stories of legendary weapons that could cleave mountains and command the heavens. Weapons like the sword of the warrior god, a blade said to be born from Bishamonten's own wrath, lost to time after a cataclysmic battle against the Oni hordes that threatened to engulf the world in eternal darkness. One fateful night, as thunder roared like the god's battle cry and lightning etched scars across the sky, a cloaked stranger stumbled into Hiroshi's forge, his body riddled with wounds from claws that no human could wield, gasping that he was the last guardian of the sacred relic, and with his dying breath, he thrust a tattered map into Hiroshi's hands, etched with symbols of ancient Shinto shrines and warnings of trials that would test the soul's very essence. Compelled by an inexplicable pull, as if the god himself had ignited a fire in his veins, Hiroshi set forth at dawn, leaving behind his anvil and the safety of his home, venturing into the forbidden forests of Mount Fuji, where shadows danced like vengeful spirits and the air hummed with the echoes of forgotten wars. Along the path, he encountered a sly kitsune fox spirit, its 9 tails flickering with illusory flames, who tempted him with visions of wealth and power, promising to reveal shortcuts if he abandoned his quest. But Hiroshi, remembering his grandfather's words that true strength lies in unyielding honor, refused, earning the spirit's reluctant respect and a cryptic riddle that guided him deeper into the mountain's heart. As he climbed higher, the trials intensified. First, a raging river swollen with the tears of slain warriors, which he crossed by forging a makeshift bridge from fallen bamboo, his muscles straining against the current that whispered doubts into his ears. Then, a labyrinth of thorny vines guarded by Tengu bird demons, their beaks sharp as katana edges, who swooped down with mocking laughter, forcing Hiroshi to wield his blacksmith's hammer in combat for the first time, dodging and striking with a ferocity he never knew he possessed, each blow resonating like the gong of a temple bell. Exhausted but unbroken, he reached the hidden cave at the peak, where the air grew thick with divine energy, and there, embedded in a pedestal of glowing obsidian, lay the sword of the warrior god, its blade etched with runes that pulsed like living veins, humming with the power to summon storms and shatter illusions. But as Hiroshi grasped the hilt, a monstrous Oni lord materialized from the shadows, its red skin bulging with muscles like twisted iron, horns curling like serpents, bellowing that the sword was his by right of conquest, having stolen it centuries ago to fuel his army's rampage. The battle that ensued shook the mountain to its core. Hiroshi, empowered by the sword's essence, moved with the grace of a god, parrying the Ona's massive club that cracked the earth with each swing, his strikes infused with Bishamonten's fury, lightning arcing from the blade to sear the demon's flesh. Yet the Oni was cunning, summoning illusions of Hiroshi's loved ones to falter his resolve. But the young blacksmith pressed on, channeling memories of his village's peace and the stranger's sacrifice, delivering a final thrust that pierced the Ona's heart, banishing it back to the underworld in a vortex of howling winds. As the cave quieted, the sword's glow softened, and Hiroshi felt a divine presence envelop him. Bishamonten himself appeared in a vision, nodding approval, declaring that the blade chose its wielder not for birthright but for purity of spirit. Returning to Yamato as a hero, Hiroshi wielded the sword of the warrior god to protect his people from invading warlords and lurking yokai, forging a new era of prosperity where legends became reality. And though he aged and passed the relic to worthy successors, the tale of his quest echoed through generations, inspiring warriors to seek not just power, but the unyielding courage that turns mortals into gods. In quiet moments, Hiroshi would gaze at the blade, knowing that true legend lies not in the steel, but in the heart that wields it, a timeless bond between man and divinity that endures beyond the veil of time.